Hi and welcome to Lois and Morgana Davidson Art. It's Lois here, and today I'm going to be talking about why I like to use a limited palette and sometimes a very limited palette. In the case of these two paintings shown here, simply two colours, and those two colours today are Payne's Grey and Raw Sienna. Both of the paintings above are from demos here on YouTube, and I shall link to those in the description below if you're interested in following those particular demos. But today I'm going to be exploring the limited palette and how we can explore it by mixing the two colours together, and hopefully it will give you some ideas for how you too can explore the range of different colours and tonal values, which is quite important with a limited palette where we're not considering being able to mix local colours, because of course we don't have all three primary colours here. We've got a primary yellow with raw sienna and we've got a bluish black, so the colours we can mix will by definition be limited. But what that means is the paintings we can create from a limited palette like this are filled with atmosphere and contrast. The range of values that we can get from two colours like this is huge. So by colour mixing, hopefully I'll show you some of these and maybe inspire you to try a limited palette of your own choice. Try a couple of different colours and see what sort of things you can come up with. And you can see here that the range is quite extraordinary, from almost black through to the palest yellow, like a gleam of light in the sky, which really throws that strong dark cloud out into strong relief and contrast. The colour swatching part of this video is part of an in-depth several lesson set of workshops over on Patreon, exploring the theme of choosing a limited palette in great depth, looking at how to choose a limited palette and then looking at a primary limited palette and then an off-primary palette too, as well as this two-colour palette. So let's get on with the colour swatching. For this I'm going to show you my palette and I'm going to squeeze out my two colours onto the palette, and then first of all swatch out each of the two colours, Payne's Grey and Raw Sienna, and my brands that I'm using today are Cotman by Winsor & Newton. It's student quality, but I really rate them. I think they're very good quality paint and cheap enough to be able to practice freely with, which is of course what you need to do. The only way to learn to paint with watercolours is to practice an awful lot and to experiment and play. So the first thing I'll do is explore through swatching the tonal range of each of my two colours, from dark value through to mid values and then the lighter values. And then I'll start colour mixing and see what colours and sort of shades and hues I can come up with. So from just swatching out a few of the subtle possibilities here, both in value and in colour, just from these two colours, Payne's Grey and Raw Sienna, we can see that there's a really great range here, which is something that's very important if we're going to create a dynamic and interesting painting. So these limited palette paintings can teach you a lot about tonal value, which is so important. A lot of beginners wonder why their paintings can look maybe a little muddy, a little sort of maybe bland. And the reason for that is because they're not pushing their values strongly enough, and everything is sort of mostly sort of mid-value. And so a limited colour palette like this can really help you to explore value as well as colour. And of course you can try any colours that you want with limited palettes, and it doesn't have to be two colours. Here, the two colours that we've got here are blue-black, or a blue-grey and a yellow. So as well as a full range of yellows and greys and blacks, we get a good range of earthy greens and greys and all sorts of interesting colours like that. But of course, using a limited palette with just primary colours and perhaps one neutral would give you an amazing range of colours and tonal values too. So it's certainly worth playing with these ideas and exploring them, and it will help you to find your own unique set of colours and shades and hues for your own work, which will help your work to stand out from the crowd. Well, I hope that was useful and that you found it interesting. If you did, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And if you're interested in more about this sort of colour theory and more in-depth teaching workshops, then head over to Patreon by following the link below. Oh, and I forgot to say, please let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas for limited palettes yourself, and I shall look forward to reading them. Many thanks, take care and happy painting. Bye.